Hello and welcome to my new Blender tutorial. Today I want to show you how I made this animation here, so I don't want to waste your time, so let's get started. We start with a brand new file here, and I'm gonna turn on my screencast keys so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I give this cube now material, so let's take here this nice orange, let's take some metallic and the roughness down, and I'm gonna subdivide it one time, and I'm gonna mark this here and make this a little bit smaller. This is our first item, and we're gonna put this in a new collection which we call instances. So this is our first instance. Now we get a new one, add a UV sphere, and we're gonna choose here faces, and now I'm gonna select some faces here and some here, and then I'm gonna extrude along the normals. I'm gonna push this in. I like this. I'm gonna say shape smooth, I'm gonna say auto smooth, and this gets a material. Let's take the blue one, and yeah, I'm gonna here do the same, a little bit metallic, and make it smooth. That looks good, and put this in instances too. And let's add another thing here. So we take a cylinder, Alt R, and then move this a little bit up here, and another one here, and another one there, and another one here. Then I'm gonna choose again here the faces. Oh, why not? Let's push this, extrude, this time to the outside. I think it's pretty nice. Next material, and let's take some greenish color, and again some metallic, less roughness, and of course shape smooth. And let's do auto smooth. This is our third instance. One more we need, so let's take, why not? We take a torus, and here we do this again. Extrude along normals, move this up a bit, and maybe a bit inside. Why not? Okay, let's give this a color too. Let's take some yellow color and shape smooth again. And this again, and then we move this in instances too. Now add a plane, geometry nodes, new node tree. What we need? Well, we need a grid. And here is our grid. Let's take 10 vertices, let's take size of 10, and let's do instance on points. That's what we want, and we use the mesh. And now we can do a trick here. We can just drag and drop the collection in here, and these are our instances. And right now you see already something. Might not look perfect, but it looks like something. What we do now is we scale it a little bit down. So transform, scale, and make it smaller that it looks good. And now we just say pick instances, and we want just one, so we say separate. We set children, and you see now we have single instances. Very nice. What we need now is random instances. So we need a random value, Here you see a random value, we got this, and we use integer from 0 to 3, though, so we got 4 values. Put this in instant index, and you see we already have random instances here, which also looks very nice. I like this. So now we need the height of the cube here, so we add another mesh line here, and we use another instances on points. We plug this in here, we plug this in here, and then we plug this in here, and see, now we have a nice tower. But it's not random. So how do we get the randomness in here? It's pretty easy. We don't need a random value, we just need own points, and this own points we get by realize instances. So every point is now newly generated and not a repetition, and now we got real randomness. So this was part 1. In part 2 now we're gonna animate. How do we do this? We do this with set position, so we can change the position, and we need it 4 times. Now we copy these 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to move this depending on this value here, because this value decides which instance we see here. So we are moving them around by that one. So how do we do this? We need a combine. No, not RGB. We need a combine x, y, z. So this is our x, y, z value, and we compare our value to know whether it's 0. And of course we need this again. This is our first item. We copy this and we compare to 1. This is our second item. So I can make this a little bit slower here. And 3 and 4. And we plug this in here as well. Another tip is just select both of them, press F, and it connects itself, which is pretty handy. So now the combine x, y, z value will change the offset here, and then we can move it, as you can see. So we need frame value, another spam message, very nice. We need a random value, so random value. Here we are. No, not random value. We need a value node, and we get the frame information from it. And then we do a mapping. So we are mapping from our frame value, which goes from 1 to, let's say, 100. I'm gonna turn on here my timeline, and I'm gonna turn this down to 100, so it's a bit quicker. So from 1 to 100 is the frame is changing, and the x value maybe from, yeah, that's good, minus 17. So minus 70 to 0. This is our x, and we combine this, and this is our first offset. And if you plug this in here, which he doesn't want, do it again, you see we already have the first movement, which is correct. This is what we want. So this belongs to here, and we copy these two, and we do the same for the rest. So here it's gonna turn from 17 it's now from plus x, so from here to here will be the movement, and we plug it in and we move it over. We double this again, but this time we change the y value from same plus is okay, so we plug in the value here and we plug in the offset here, and then we double this, you guessed it, one more time. Plug in the frame here, and this time it's minus 17, and we plug it in here. And if you animate this, you see nothing is working because the equal function does not have the value here, so we have of course to plug in our comparison values here. And now we get something. Let's see this. No, this is not what we want, because we ask here for 0, 1, 2, and this is 3. Yeah, that's right. Now let's see. This looks good, but the animation is not perfect, so we're gonna turn this up to 140. This looks quite okay, but we can do this better by turning on the graph editor here. Okay, now the trick is I pushed here the frame in, but I take this out. I go and delete the driver, turn on 0 here, and say this is my keyframe on frame 1, and at frame 100, I say it's 100. Yes, it's white. And now we can, oh, I have the keyframe, yes. And now we can see the keyframe in the graph editor here, and we can manipulate this value. We say key interpolation mode, and we say bounce. Now watch what happens. We have a nice animation, and that is the tutorial. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Bye.